Imagine this. It's a peaceful morning in Texas. John, a retired firefighter who spent his life saving others, wakes up like he always does. He stretches, swings his legs over the side of the bed. But something feels off. His right arm feels heavy, almost like it doesn't belong to him. When he tries to smile at his reflection, the corner of his mouth doesn't quite move. He calls out for his wife, but the words sound strange and slurred. Maybe, he thinks, I just slept on it wrong. I'll shake it off. But what if I told you that those first few moments after waking could mean something far more serious? What if I told you John's symptoms weren't from a bad night's sleep, but from a stroke that had already happened while he was dreaming? Strokes don't wait for anyone. They don't knock politely. And they certainly don't care if you're asleep or awake. For millions of seniors across America, especially those who live alone, this risk is both silent and deadly. According to the American Stroke Association, 1 in every 5 strokes occurs during sleep. That means people wake up to discover something's wrong, only to find out that they're already in a race against time. And when it comes to a stroke, every minute counts. Every single minute can mean millions of brain cells lost forever. The hidden danger while you sleep. Think about it. While you're resting peacefully at night, your body is going through a series of changes. Your blood pressure naturally dips and then rises again in the early morning hours. Your heart rate fluctuates. If you already live with conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, atrial fibrillation, or high cholesterol, these changes can be dangerous. All it takes is one small shift, one moment of imbalance, for a blood vessel in your brain to clog or burst. On top of that, we all become mildly dehydrated overnight. Breathing and sweating while you sleep drains moisture from your body. When your blood becomes thicker and your circulation slows down, you're creating the perfect environment for a blood clot to form. If that clot blocks a vessel feeding your brain while you're asleep, you won't feel it happening. By the time you wake up, the damage may already be done. The sleep apnea connection. One of the most overlooked risk factors is sleep apnea. This condition, which often goes undiagnosed in older adults, causes repeated pauses in breathing during the night. Each pause robs your brain and heart of oxygen, forcing your body to work harder and raising your blood pressure. Research from the National Institutes of Health shows that people with untreated sleep apnea are twice as likely to suffer a stroke, especially in the early morning hours when the body is under stress. If you or someone you know snores loudly, wakes up gasping for air, or feels tired no matter how much they sleep, it's worth talking to a doctor about sleep apnea. Treating this one condition could significantly cut your stroke risk. The FAST test, your life-saving tool. Now, here's the most important part. If you wake up and something doesn't feel right, maybe your arm is numb, your leg feels weak, or your speech sounds strange, you must act fast. The American Heart Association recommends using the FAST test. F. Face. Look in the mirror and smile. Does one side droop? A. Arms. Raise both arms. Does one drift down? S. Speech. Say a simple sentence. Is it slurred or strange? T. Time. If you notice any of these signs, call 911 immediately. Don't wait. Don't convince yourself that it will pass. Even if the symptoms fade, you could still be in danger. When it comes to a stroke, every second is critical. A plan for seniors living alone. For many seniors, the scariest part of this scenario is being alone when it happens. But you don't have to be helpless. Technology today can be a lifesaver. Smart assistants like Alexa or Siri can call 911 with a voice command. Most smartphones have emergency features. Pressing the power button 5 times quickly will trigger an emergency call. Medical alert devices are another game changer. Some can detect abnormal movements or track your heart rate while you sleep. With one click, you can be connected to emergency services. If you can't reach your phone, Think ahead. Keep backup plans like wall-mounted panic buttons. Or even a simple system with a neighbor. If they don't hear you knock on the wall by 8 a.m., they come check on you. These small steps can literally save your life. The race against time. After calling for help, if you can move, unlock your front door and turn on all the lights. Make it easy for emergency crews to find and reach you. Experts recommend lying on your side, with your head slightly raised, to keep your airway open. And whatever you do, don't try to eat or drink anything. Strokes can affect your ability to swallow, and choking is a real risk. Plus, certain treatments like TPA, the clot-busting drug that can reverse some strokes, can only be used if your stomach is empty. Keep a notepad or your phone by your bed. If you notice symptoms, record the exact time they started. Doctors use that information to decide what treatments will work best. Warning signs before a major stroke. Here's something most people don't realize. Your body often warns you before a stroke hits. These warning shots are called TIAs or mini strokes. They look and feel almost like a real stroke: numbness, weakness, trouble speaking, but the symptoms fade in minutes. The danger? People ignore them. But 1/3 of people who have a TIA go on to have a major stroke within a year. Even subtle signs matter. A strange headache when you wake up, a moment of blurry vision, a weak leg, or trouble forming a simple sentence. These might not scream stroke, but they are your body whispering for help. A true story: why preparation matters. Let me tell you about Linda, a 68-year-old retired teacher from Ohio. Linda lived alone and was used to doing everything herself. One spring morning, she woke up with a heavy, weak left arm. When she tried to smile, the right side of her face felt frozen. Months before, she'd watched a health video about strokes and had practiced the FAST test every now and then. That morning, she didn't panic. She picked up the phone on her nightstand and called 911. Because she kept her front door unlocked, a safety trick her daughter taught her, and had her medical information card taped near the fridge. Paramedics reached her in minutes. Linda received treatment within the golden window. And today she's walking, speaking, and enjoying her life like before. Why this video matters. Stories like Linda's remind us of a simple truth: being prepared is not about living in fear. It's about living smart, knowing the signs of a stroke, taking preventive steps, and having an emergency plan ready can mean the difference between full recovery and lifelong disability, or worse. In the next sections of this video, we're going to dive deeper into the hidden causes of strokes during sleep, how to recognize the earliest signs, and the simple habits you can practice every morning to protect yourself. So, stay with me, because what you'll learn today might not only save your life but also the life of someone you love. Picture this: you drift off to sleep, thinking you're safe, wrapped up in the warmth of your bed. The house is quiet, the world outside is still, and your body begins its nightly repair cycle. But while you're dreaming, something else might be happening inside your body, something dangerous. Strokes are often called brain attacks, and they can strike silently in the middle of the night, without you even knowing it. When I first started talking with older patients about strokes, many would say, "Doctor, I'd feel it, wouldn't I? I'd wake up if something was wrong." The truth is, not always. According to the American Stroke Association, about 1 in 5 strokes happen during sleep. That means by the time you open your eyes, the damage may already be in motion. Why is this so dangerous? It's because time is everything when it comes to stroke treatment. Doctors have a very small window, often just 3 to 4.5 hours, to use a clot-busting medication called TPA that can reverse or limit the damage of an ischemic stroke, the most common type. If you sleep through the onset of a stroke, that window might close before you even realize something is wrong. Think of your brain as a city with thousands of roads. A stroke is like a traffic jam on one of the main highways. Blood can't reach parts of the city, and those areas begin to shut down. Every minute, millions of brain cells die. If that doesn't scare you, it should, but it should also motivate you. Because the more you know about this silent nighttime threat, the better your chances of survival. I remember a patient named Harold, a 72-year-old from Florida. He lived alone, loved gardening, and was as sharp as they come. One morning, Harold woke up and realized his left arm wouldn't move. He thought it was just asleep from lying on it. He drank some coffee, tried to shake it off, and didn't call 911 until 2 hours later. By then, precious time had been lost. Harold survived, but he struggled with weakness on his left side for the rest of his life. His story is not unique. Many people delay action because they simply don't know what's happening. Here's the thing. Strokes don't give you a warning when they happen during the night. They don't wake you up with pain or alarms. That's why knowing what to look for as soon as you wake up is critical. If you experience numbness, weakness, slurred speech, or even a strange sense of confusion, don't ignore it, even if you feel fine after a few minutes. Call emergency services. It's better to be safe than sorry. This video and this conversation we're having now exists for one simple reason. I want you to be ready. I want you to know that strokes can happen silently and that your response can make the difference between walking and talking tomorrow, or spending the rest of your life in rehabilitation. Before we move on, let me give you this tip. Start your day with a quick check. Every morning, smile in the mirror, raise both arms, and say a simple sentence out loud. It takes 10 seconds. If something feels off, don't brush it aside. Make this a daily habit. Like brushing your teeth. It might sound small, but it could save your life. Why do strokes often strike when we're sleeping? During what should be the safest, calmest time of our day? To understand this, we need to take a look at what happens inside the body at night. When you sleep, your heart rate slows, your blood pressure drops, and your body enters a state of rest and repair. While these changes are natural, they can create conditions that make a stroke more likely, especially in seniors with underlying health issues. Blood pressure fluctuations. During the night, blood pressure naturally dips. For healthy people, this is normal and harmless. But if you have high blood pressure or blood vessels that are already damaged by plaque buildup, these nighttime shifts can trigger a problem. Sometimes, in the early hours of the morning, blood pressure spikes again, which can cause a weak or narrowed vessel in the brain to rupture, leading to a hemorrhagic stroke. For others, the slower nighttime circulation increases the risk of a clot forming, leading to an ischemic stroke. Dehydration while sleeping. Did you know your body can lose nearly a liter of water overnight just from breathing and sweating? This dehydration thickens the blood, making it more prone to clotting. If you go to bed dehydrated, your risk rises. That's why I tell my patients to always keep a small glass of water by their bedside and take a few sips before sleeping and first thing in the morning. It's a simple habit, but it can make a real difference. Underlying health conditions. Conditions like atrial fibrillation and irregular heartbeat can also lead to blood clots that travel to the brain. Diabetes, high cholesterol, and heart disease all compound the risk. Think of these conditions like dry kindling in a forest. On their own, they may not cause a fire, but it only takes a small spark, like a sudden blood pressure change during sleep, for trouble to start. The morning spike. Studies show that most sleep-related strokes occur in the early morning hours, between 4 a.m. and 8 a.m. This is when the body's natural wake-up hormones, like cortisol, kick in. These hormones can raise blood pressure and heart rate, stressing blood vessels that might already be vulnerable. Real-life story, Bill's wake-up call. Let me tell you about Bill, a 69-year-old retired mechanic from Colorado. Bill was in good shape, or so he thought. One morning, he woke up, swung his legs off the bed, and fell to the floor. His left side was completely numb. Luckily, his wife heard the thud and called 911 immediately. At the hospital, doctors discovered that a small clot had blocked one of the main blood vessels in his brain, most likely formed overnight. Thanks to quick action, Bill received treatment in time and made a full recovery. Bill's story is a reminder that strokes don't care if you're asleep. They don't give you a polite warning. They happen when the body is most vulnerable. How to lower your risk at night. Stay hydrated. Drink a glass of water before bed. And keep some by your bedside. Avoid heavy, salty dinners. These can raise nighttime blood pressure. Manage sleep apnea. If you snore, gasp for air at night, or feel exhausted despite sleeping, see a doctor. Sleep apnea doubles your stroke risk. Keep your medications consistent if your doctor prescribed blood pressure meds. Take them as directed, especially evening doses. Check morning symptoms. Take 10 seconds every morning to smile, raise your arms, and speak a simple sentence out loud. When I talk to my patients, I always tell them, your body is like a car. It's during the quiet times, like when the engine is idling, that problems can show up if you haven't been maintaining it properly. Sleeping is no different. If you're not taking care of your heart and blood vessels during the day, nighttime becomes the perfect storm for a stroke. Imagine this. You wake up and something feels off. Maybe your arm feels heavy, or your smile doesn't look quite right in the mirror. Too many people ignore these subtle morning signals, thinking they just slept funny or are still waking up. But these small signs could be the first warning that a stroke has already happened during your sleep. When you wake up, your body is transitioning from a state of deep rest to being alert and active. For most of us, this is no problem. But for seniors, this transition can reveal symptoms that were hidden during the night. Recognizing these early signs and acting on them can make all the difference between full recovery and permanent damage. The key morning red flags. Numbness or weakness on one side. If one arm or leg feels weak or numb, even if it's just for a moment, don't dismiss it. Test yourself. Lift both arms. Does one drift downward? This simple check is often the first clue of a stroke. Facial droop. Look at yourself in the mirror. Smile widely. If one side of your face looks different, droops or feels heavy, it's a major red flag. Slurred or strange speech. Try saying a simple sentence like, "The sun is shining today." If your words sound garbled or hard to form, this is a serious warning sign. Sudden vision changes. Blurry vision, double vision, or even temporary blindness in one eye should never be ignored. Severe morning headache. A sharp, unusual headache that strikes upon waking can be an early stroke symptom, especially if you don't usually get headaches. Dizziness or loss of balance. If the room feels like it's spinning or you can't keep your balance, treat it as an emergency. Why we ignore the signs. One of the biggest dangers is denial. Many seniors brush off these symptoms, thinking they'll pass. They drink coffee, stretch, or take a shower, hoping it will go away. But strokes don't get better on their own. Every minute you delay can mean more brain cells lost. I recall a patient, Dorothy, a retired nurse from Ohio. She woke up with tingling in her right hand and face. Because she was a nurse, she recognized the symptoms and called 911 right away. At the hospital, doctors discovered a clot blocking one of her brain arteries. Thanks to her quick action, she was treated within the golden window and made a full recovery. Dorothy later told me, "If I'd waited just 30 more minutes, I might not be able to speak today." Fast, your 30-second test. To make it easy to remember, the American Heart Association recommends the FAST test. F. Face. Smile and check if one side droops. A. Arms. Raise both arms. Does one drift down? S. Speech. Speak a short sentence. Is it slurred or strange? T. Time. If you notice any of these signs, call 911 immediately. Don't wait, call for help. Even if the symptoms go away after a few minutes. This could mean you had a TIA, transient ischemic attack, also known as a mini stroke. A TIA is like your body's warning alarm. And 1 out of 3 people who have a TIA will have a major stroke within a year if they don't get medical care. Your morning routine could save you. Start each day with these 3 quick checks. Smile in the mirror. Raise both arms. Say a simple sentence out loud. This routine takes less than 10 seconds but could help you spot a stroke in its earliest stage. A final note. If something feels wrong when you wake up, numbness, slurred speech, or dizziness, do not wait it out. Do not go back to sleep. Do not tell yourself it's just stress or just age. Act immediately. Call 911. Unlock your front door. And make sure emergency crews can reach you quickly. Your life is worth that call. When it comes to stroke, every second counts. Most people don't realize that the difference between walking out of the hospital or facing a lifetime of disability often comes down to how quickly they recognize the signs and take action. That's why doctors, emergency responders, and stroke experts all rely on a simple, life-saving tool known as the FAST test. FAST is an easy acronym that helps you remember the 3 most common stroke symptoms and the importance of acting fast. Face, arms, speech, time. F. Face. The first sign of a stroke often shows up on the face. Stand in front of a mirror and smile. Does one side of your face droop? Is your smile uneven? Can you lift both eyebrows equally? Even a slight difference could mean that part of your brain isn't receiving enough blood or oxygen. A. Arms. Next. Check your arms. Raise both arms at the same time. Does one drift down? Does it feel weak, heavy, or tingly? Strokes often affect one side of the body, making it difficult to control an arm or hand. S. Speech. Try speaking a simple sentence like, "The sun is shining today." Does your speech sound slurred or strange? Are you struggling to find the right words? Difficulty speaking, understanding others, or forming sentences is a classic stroke warning. T. Time. If you notice any of these symptoms, even if they go away after a few minutes, you must act immediately. Call 911. Time lost is brain lost. Every minute that passes without treatment, about 1.9 million brain cells die. That's why stroke experts say, don't wait to see if it gets better. It won't. Why FAST works? FAST is effective because it's simple, easy to remember, and focuses on the 3 signs that show up most often in stroke victims. The American Heart Association and American Stroke Association have spent years educating the public on this test because it has saved thousands of lives across the U.S. Real story, FAST in action. Let me tell you about Jim, a 70-year-old Vietnam veteran from North Carolina. One Sunday morning, he felt a little off, but couldn't put his finger on it. His wife, remembering the FAST test from a health workshop, asked him to smile. The left side of his face drooped. She then asked him to raise his arms, and one arm fell quickly. Without wasting time, she called 911. Jim was treated at a stroke center within 45 minutes. Doctors later told him that his wife's quick recognition of the FAST signs saved his life and his independence. How to practice FAST at home. Make it a habit, each morning. Run through the FAST check as part of your routine. Teach family and friends, if they know FAST. They can spot the signs even if you can't. Post reminders. Put a sticky note on your bathroom mirror with the word FAST and the steps underneath. The golden hour. Doctors call the first hour after a stroke the golden hour because immediate treatment can reverse or minimize brain damage. Treatments like TPA, tissue plasminogen activator, a clot-busting drug, can only be used within a few hours of symptom onset. That's why time is so critical. The FAST test saves lives because it's simple. You don't need medical training to use it. You just need awareness and the willingness to act. Think of FAST as your first line of defense against permanent disability. It's like having a fire alarm for your brain if it goes off. You don't wait to see if the fire goes out. You call for help. Key takeaway. If you wake up and something feels wrong, don't hesitate. Use the FAST test immediately. If there's any sign of a problem, call emergency services. You might feel silly if it turns out to be nothing, but if it is a stroke, that call could save your life. Strokes rarely happen without a reason. While some triggers are well known, like high blood pressure or smoking, others are hidden, sneaky, and often overlooked, especially among seniors. The truth is, these silent triggers can quietly build up over years, creating the perfect storm for a stroke while you sleep or go about your day. Understanding these triggers is the first step to preventing them. 1. Dehydration. Dehydration is one of the most underestimated stroke triggers. As we age, our bodies naturally lose the ability to sense thirst as effectively. Seniors often don't drink enough water, especially before bed, because they want to avoid nighttime bathroom trips. But dehydration thickens the blood, making it harder to flow freely through the arteries. During the night, when you're not replenishing fluids, this thickened blood can form clots that may block blood vessels in the brain. What to do? Keep a glass of water next to your bed and take a few sips before sleeping and after waking up. Spread your water intake throughout the day to avoid feeling bloated at night. 2. High blood pressure. High blood pressure is the #1 cause of strokes. For seniors, fluctuating blood pressure during sleep is particularly dangerous. Early morning spikes are a major reason why strokes often occur at dawn. What to do? Monitor your blood pressure at home regularly. Take prescribed medications on schedule, especially evening doses that help control nighttime spikes. 3. Irregular heartbeats, atrial fibrillation. An irregular heartbeat, or atrial fibrillation, AFib, causes blood to pool and form clots in the heart, which can travel to the brain. Many seniors have AFib and don't even know it because it doesn't always cause symptoms. What to do? Ask your doctor for routine heart rhythm checks. Wear a smartwatch with heart monitoring if possible. It can detect irregular rhythms early. 4. Sleep apnea. Sleep apnea is a huge, often hidden risk factor. When you stop breathing for short periods during sleep, your oxygen levels drop. This stresses the cardiovascular system, raising your stroke risk significantly. Many seniors with loud snoring or daytime fatigue have undiagnosed sleep apnea. What to do? If you or your partner notice loud snoring, gasping, or frequent waking, get a sleep test. Use a CPAP machine or other treatment if diagnosed. 5. Poor evening habits. Heavy, salty, or fatty dinners eaten late at night can push your blood pressure and cholesterol levels higher. Add this to dehydration and inactivity before bed, and your stroke risk climbs. What to do? Eat your heaviest meals earlier in the day. Opt for light, balanced dinners with lean proteins and vegetables. 6. Smoking and alcohol. Smoking damages blood vessels, while alcohol, especially in large amounts, raises blood pressure and disrupts heart rhythm. Even moderate alcohol before bed can trigger nighttime dehydration. What to do? If you smoke, ask your doctor about cessation programs. Every cigarette increases stroke risk. Limit alcohol to 1 drink or less per day. And never drink right before bed. A real-life example. I once treated a man named Robert, a 74-year-old veteran from Georgia. He had never been diagnosed with high blood pressure. but he often enjoyed a late-night snack of salty chips with a beer before bed. One morning, he woke up with numbness on the right side of his body. At the hospital, we discovered he had experienced a stroke caused by a clot likely triggered by a combination of dehydration and elevated blood pressure overnight. Robert was lucky. His wife recognized the signs quickly and called 911. Today, he avoids salty snacks before bed, drinks more water, and monitors his blood pressure daily. Small changes, big difference. These hidden triggers may seem harmless, but when combined, they create a dangerous environment for a stroke. The good news? Most of these triggers are preventable. Staying hydrated, eating wisely, and checking your blood pressure and heart rhythm regularly are simple habits that could save your life. Key takeaway: think of stroke prevention like fixing a leaky roof. If you ignore the small leaks, dehydration, poor diet, or untreated sleep apnea, they'll add up and cause serious damage over time. By identifying these hidden triggers and making small changes, you're building a strong foundation for a safer, healthier future. Sleep apnea is often called the silent killer of the night, and for good reason. Many seniors live with this condition for years without knowing it. They might think, "I just snore loudly," or "I wake up tired because I'm getting older." But the truth is, untreated sleep apnea can double your risk of having a stroke, especially while you sleep. What is sleep apnea? Sleep apnea is a condition where your breathing repeatedly stops and starts during the night. These pauses in breathing can last anywhere from a few seconds to over a minute. And they can happen dozens or even hundreds of times in one night. Every time this happens, your brain is deprived of oxygen. Your body responds to this oxygen drop with a surge of stress hormones, which raise your blood pressure and heart rate. Over time, this constant fight-or-flight response weakens your blood vessels and makes it much easier for clots or ruptures to occur, leading to strokes. Why seniors are at higher risk? As we age, our airways naturally become less flexible, and the muscles around the throat relax more while we sleep. This makes it easier for the airway to collapse, which is exactly what happens during sleep apnea. Men over 60 are particularly vulnerable, but women, especially after menopause, face increased risk as well. Extra weight, a thick neck, or a small airway structure all increase the likelihood of sleep apnea. Signs you might have sleep apnea. Most people with sleep apnea don't realize they have it because the symptoms happen while they're asleep. However, there are warning signs you can watch for. Loud, chronic snoring, waking up gasping or choking, morning headaches, daytime fatigue, no matter how long you sleep, mood changes or brain fog, high blood pressure that doesn't respond well to medication. If you live alone and no one is there to tell you about your snoring or gasping, consider using a sleep tracking device or asking your doctor about a home sleep study. The stroke connection. Every time your oxygen level drops during an apnea episode, your blood vessels constrict, and your blood pressure spikes. Imagine doing this over and over every night. Over time, this damages the lining of your blood vessels and makes clots far more likely. This is why studies from the National Institutes of Health show that people with untreated sleep apnea have twice the risk of stroke compared to those without the condition. Real-life story, Susan's experience. Susan, a 66-year-old retired librarian from Arizona, was shocked when her doctor told her she had severe sleep apnea. She had always thought her constant tiredness and morning headaches were just part of aging. One morning, she woke up with weakness in her right arm and difficulty speaking, classic stroke symptoms. Luckily, her daughter was visiting and called 911. After her recovery, Susan started using a CPAP machine and noticed an immediate improvement in her energy, clarity, and overall health. "I had no idea that something as simple as breathing at night could be killing me," she told me. "What you can do about it? Get diagnosed. If you suspect sleep apnea, ask your doctor for a referral to a sleep specialist. Use a CPAP or BiPAP machine. These devices keep your airway open and prevent oxygen drops during sleep. Lose weight if overweight. Even losing 10 pounds can reduce apnea severity. Sleep on your side. Lying on your back often makes apnea worse. Avoid alcohol before bed. Alcohol relaxes throat muscles, increasing the chance of airway collapse. Why treatment is a lifesaver. Treating sleep apnea isn't just about sleeping better, it's about saving your brain and heart. Patients who use CPAP therapy not only sleep deeper but also significantly reduce their risk of stroke, heart attack, and even dementia. Key takeaway. If you snore loudly, wake up gasping, or always feel tired, don't ignore it. Sleep apnea is not just an inconvenience, it's a ticking time bomb. By diagnosing and treating it early, you're taking one of the most powerful steps you can to prevent a stroke. Most people think of dehydration as something that only happens during a hot summer day or after exercise. But the truth is, dehydration is a 24-hour risk, especially during the night. When you're asleep, you're not drinking water, yet your body continues to lose fluid through breathing and sweating. For seniors, even mild dehydration can thicken the blood, slow circulation, and increase the chance of clot formation, making nighttime the perfect window for a stroke. Why dehydration matters for seniors. As we age, our sense of thirst naturally declines. You may not feel thirsty even when your body needs water. This is why older adults are far more prone to dehydration without even realizing it. The blood becomes thicker when dehydrated, which means the heart has to pump harder to move it through the vessels. If a vessel is already narrowed due to cholesterol buildup or damage, a clot can easily form. Think of it like oil in a car engine. If the oil is too thick, the engine struggles, and parts can break down. Your bloodstream works the same way. Hydration keeps it running smoothly. Signs of nighttime dehydration. Dry mouth or sticky saliva when you wake up. Cramping or twitching muscles during the night. Morning headaches or dizziness. Dark, concentrated urine in the morning. Fatigue or grogginess even after a full night's sleep. These signs may seem small, but they're signals that your body is struggling. Real story. Henry's experience. Henry, a 71-year-old farmer from Kansas, had always been active but rarely drank water in the evenings. He didn't like waking up to use the bathroom at night. One morning, Henry woke up with a weak left leg and slurred speech. At the hospital, doctors explained that dehydration had likely thickened his blood overnight, contributing to a clot that caused his stroke. Today, Henry drinks a full glass of water before bed, and he swears it's the reason he feels better and more alert each morning. How to stay hydrated without losing sleep. Drink early in the day. Aim for most of your daily water intake before evening. Sip before bed. A few small sips of water before sleep can help keep your blood from thickening overnight. Limit caffeine and alcohol. Both can dehydrate the body, especially when consumed late in the day. Eat hydrating foods. Fruits like watermelon, oranges, or cucumbers can help maintain hydration levels. Keep water by your bedside. If you wake up thirsty, take a small sip rather than ignoring it. The link between dehydration and morning strokes. Research shows that early morning is the peak time for strokes, often between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. Why? Dehydration from the night, combined with natural blood pressure spikes when the body wakes, creates the perfect storm. Staying hydrated is a simple but powerful way to reduce this risk. Practical routine. Before bed, I recommend the 3-2-1 rule. 3 hours before bed, stop heavy meals. 2 hours before bed, take your last cup of tea or coffee. 1 hour before bed, drink half a glass of water, and keep the rest on your nightstand for the morning. Key takeaway. Hydration isn't just about feeling less thirsty, It's about keeping your blood flowing smoothly and protecting your brain. Seniors who stay hydrated reduce not only their risk of stroke but also headaches, confusion, and fatigue. Something as small as a sip of water before bed could be the difference between a healthy morning and a medical emergency. When we talk about stroke risk in seniors, two key players always come to the forefront: heart health and blood pressure. These two factors are so closely connected to stroke that I often tell my patients, your brain health is only as strong as your heart and your blood vessels. Why blood pressure matters so much. High blood pressure, or hypertension, is often called the silent killer because it rarely causes noticeable symptoms but can do immense damage over time. When blood pressure remains high, it constantly pushes against the walls of your blood vessels, weakening and stiffening them over years. This can lead to small tears, scarring, and narrowing of the arteries, making them more prone to blockages or bursts. At night, blood pressure naturally drops. But for people with poorly managed hypertension, this dip can be unpredictable. Sometimes, blood pressure spikes in the early morning, exactly when many sleep-related strokes occur. It's no coincidence that early morning hours are peak stroke time for seniors with untreated or uncontrolled hypertension. The role of the heart. Your heart pumps blood to your brain through a complex network of arteries. If your heart isn't healthy, whether due to heart disease, atrial fibrillation, AFib, or clogged arteries, your brain will pay the price. AFib, for example, causes irregular heartbeats that make blood swirl and pool inside the heart, where it can form clots. These clots can then travel to the brain and cause a stroke. Studies show that seniors with AFib have 5 times higher stroke risk than those with normal heart rhythms. What's worse, many seniors don't even know they have AFib because it doesn't always cause symptoms. Warning signs of poor heart health. Shortness of breath during simple activities, irregular or fluttering heartbeat, swelling in the ankles or legs, unexplained fatigue or dizziness, chest discomfort, even mild. If you experience any of these, don't ignore them. A quick checkup could prevent a future stroke. Real-life story, George's wake-up call. George, a 75-year-old retired postal worker from California, never thought much about his blood pressure. He felt fine, walked every day, and only saw the doctor once a year. But one morning, George woke up with his right arm limp and his speech slurred. He was rushed to the hospital, where doctors discovered he had severe, uncontrolled hypertension and undiagnosed AFib. George spent months in rehabilitation. Now, he checks his blood pressure daily and wears a smartwatch that alerts him to irregular rhythms. He tells everyone he meets, don't wait for a stroke to wake you up, check your heart now. How to protect your heart and blood pressure. Monitor daily. Use an at-home blood pressure monitor. Ideal readings for seniors are usually below 130/80ths of a millimeter of mercury. But your doctor may give you specific targets. Take medications religiously. Blood pressure and heart medications only work if taken consistently. Missing doses can lead to dangerous spikes. Eat heart-healthy foods. Choose foods rich in potassium, fiber, and lean proteins like salmon, leafy greens, and beans, while cutting back on salty or processed foods. Stay active. Even gentle daily walks can improve blood circulation and strengthen the heart. Limit stress. Chronic stress raises blood pressure. Practices like meditation, deep breathing, or light stretching can help. Regular checkups. Don't wait for symptoms. Routine visits to a cardiologist or primary care doctor can catch problems early. The morning checkup habit. When you wake up, spend 1 minute checking your heart and blood pressure. If your monitor shows unusual spikes, or you feel your heart racing or fluttering, call your doctor. This simple habit can give you peace of mind and might prevent a major medical emergency. Key takeaway. Your heart and blood pressure are the foundation of your brain health. By managing them well, you're not just protecting your heart, you're lowering your stroke risk. Staying independent and keeping your mind sharp for years to come. When a stroke strikes, the first 5 minutes can decide everything, whether you fully recover or face long-term disability. It's not about staying calm and waiting to see if it gets better. It's about immediate action. Most people lose precious time because they hesitate, unsure if what they're feeling is serious enough to call for help. But with stroke, every single minute counts. Why time is brain? Doctors have a saying, time lost is brain lost. Every minute without treatment, about 1.9 million brain cells die. The faster you get help, the greater your chances of full recovery. Medications like TPA, tissue plasminogen activator, a powerful clot-busting drug, can only be given within a few hours of symptom onset. If you delay, you may lose that window forever. What to do immediately? Call 911, do not wait. Even if symptoms seem mild or fade, call emergency services right away. Stroke symptoms can come and go, but the damage can still progress silently. Use voice commands. If your hands are weak or you can't dial, use voice-activated assistants like, Hey Siri. Call 911 inches or OK Google. Emergency. Unlock your door. If you're able to move, unlock your front door and turn on lights. This ensures paramedics can enter without delay. Lie in the recovery position. Lay on your side with your head slightly elevated using a thin pillow or folded blanket. This position helps keep your airway open and prevents choking if you vomit, a common stroke symptom. Do not eat or drink. Your ability to swallow might be impaired. Eating or drinking could lead to choking. Also, certain stroke treatments require an empty stomach. Record the time. One of the most important pieces of information doctors need is when your symptoms started. If you can, write it down. Say it into your phone's recorder, or text it to someone. It's 6:12 a.m., and my left arm feels numb. This simple note can determine whether you qualify for life-saving treatments like TPA. Real-life story, Karen's quick thinking. Karen, a 70-year-old grandmother from Illinois, was enjoying her morning routine when she suddenly felt dizzy and noticed her right arm wouldn't lift. Remembering advice from her doctor, she grabbed her phone and called 911, saying, I think I'm having a stroke. She also unlocked her front door and stayed on the line with the dispatcher. Paramedics arrived in less than 10 minutes. Karen received treatment within the golden window and walked out of the hospital 3 days later with no lasting damage. Her success wasn't luck, it was speed. What not to do? Don't go back to bed thinking you just slept wrong. Don't drive yourself to the hospital. You could lose consciousness. Don't wait to see if it improves. Every delay reduces your chance of recovery. The 5-minute emergency checklist. If you suspect a stroke, fast test, face, arms, speech, time. Call 911. Don't second-guess yourself. Unlock and prepare. Unlock doors. Turn on lights. Stay safe. Lie on your side. Don't eat or drink. Note the time. Doctors need it for treatment decisions. Key takeaway. Your first 5 minutes are everything. Think of it like a fire. You wouldn't sit and wait if smoke started filling the room. You'd act. Treat stroke symptoms the same way. Quick action can mean the difference between life and death, or between recovery and permanent disability. For seniors who live alone, the thought of having a stroke during the night can be terrifying. Without someone nearby to call for help, those critical minutes can slip away unnoticed. But here's the good news. With the right emergency preparation plan, you can greatly increase your chances of survival, even if no one is around. Why preparation matters. A stroke can leave you confused, weak, or unable to speak. If you live alone, you need systems in place that allow you to get help without wasting time. Emergency preparation isn't about being fearful, it's about being ready and in control. Step 1. Keep your phone within reach. Your phone should always be within arm's length of your bed. If you have trouble reaching for it, invest in a wall-mounted phone holder or keep a landline next to your bed. Voice-activated phones like smartphones with "Hey Siri" or "OK Google" commands can be life-saving if you can't physically press buttons. Step 2. Set up emergency contacts. Program 911 and key family members on speed dial. Many smartphones allow emergency calls with just 5 quick presses of the power button. Practice this so you can do it even when you're groggy or weak. Step 3. Use medical alert devices. Wearable medical alert devices, like bracelets or pendants, can summon help at the press of a button. Some advanced devices automatically detect falls or abnormal heart rates and alert emergency services without you doing a thing. Step 4. Prepare your home for rescue. Unlock your doors at night, if you're comfortable. Keep a smart lock or keypad entry so paramedics can get in without breaking doors. Turn on lights. Keep a nightlight or motion-activated light so rescuers can find you easily. Stay visible. Avoid sleeping in a corner where you might be hidden from view. Step 5. Daily check-in system. If you live alone, arrange a simple check-in system with a neighbor or family member. A quick "good morning" text or call by 8 a.m. can save hours of delay if something happens. If they don't hear from you, they know to check in. Step 6. Medical information card. Keep a card by your bed or in your wallet with critical information. Current medications. Health conditions, like high blood pressure or diabetes. Allergies. Emergency contacts. When paramedics arrive. This saves precious minutes. Real-life example, Paul's story. Paul, a 73-year-old veteran from Texas, lived alone after his wife passed away. His daughter convinced him to wear a medical alert pendant that connected directly to 911. One morning, he woke up with slurred speech and weakness but couldn't grab his phone. He pressed the button on his pendant, and help arrived in under 15 minutes. Doctors told Paul that his quick access to help likely prevented serious brain damage. Step 7. Practice your plan. Just like we do fire drills, you should rehearse your emergency steps. Pretend you can't speak. Can you still call 911 with a button press? Can you reach your phone with one hand? Do you remember how to unlock your door? Building these reflexes ensures that when panic sets in, your body knows what to do. Step 8. Backup solutions. If technology fails, have backup plans. A wall-mounted panic button linked to your alarm system. A flashlight with a strobe function to signal neighbors at night. Even a whistle by your bed to draw attention. Key takeaway. Living alone doesn't have to mean living at risk. With the right preparation, you can turn your home into a safe space where help is always within reach. Think of this as building a safety net, one you hope you'll never need, but one that could save your life. Most people believe that strokes come without warning, like a lightning bolt out of the blue. But in reality, your body often sends signals, sometimes days or even weeks before the major event. Recognizing these early signs can give you the chance to seek medical help and prevent a life-changing stroke. What are these early warnings? The most important early warning sign is something called a TIA, transient ischemic attack, often referred to as a mini-stroke. A TIA happens when blood flow to part of the brain is briefly blocked. The symptoms are almost identical to a stroke, but they disappear within minutes or hours. The danger is that many people ignore TIAs because they feel better afterward, not realizing it's a critical red flag. Symptoms of a TIA include sudden weakness or numbness in the face, arm, or leg, especially on one side, trouble speaking or understanding speech, temporary vision loss or double vision, sudden dizziness or loss of balance, a sudden, severe headache with no known cause. According to the CDC, About 1 in 3 people who experience apnea will have a major stroke within a year if they don't receive treatment. Apnea is your brain's way of shouting, "Pay attention now." Other subtle warnings. Even without apnea, your body might give you hints that your brain or cardiovascular system is under strain. Morning headaches. If you wake up with severe headaches more often, it could signal fluctuating blood pressure or sleep apnea, both major stroke risks. Temporary weakness or limping. A weak leg that lasts a few minutes and then improves might seem harmless, but it's worth checking. Brief confusion or slurred words. Struggling to get words out or feeling mentally foggy for a short time can indicate tiny blood flow interruptions. Changes in vision, double vision, blurred vision, or losing vision in one eye, even briefly, should never be ignored. Real-life story, Betty's close call. Betty, a 67-year-old retired nurse from Florida, noticed that her right hand would occasionally feel numb while making breakfast. It would go away after a few minutes, so she dismissed it as just age. One day, she experienced slurred speech for 2 minutes but didn't tell anyone. A week later, Betty suffered a major stroke that left her hospitalized for months. Her doctors later explained that those minor episodes were TIAs, warning shots that she ignored. Why we overlook these signs. Symptoms fade quickly, so we assume the problem is gone. Fear or denial. We tell ourselves it's stress, fatigue, or just normal aging. Lack of awareness. Many seniors don't realize that TIAs are medical emergencies. What you should do. If you experience any of these signs, don't wait for them to pass. Treat a TIA or strange episode exactly like a major stroke. Call 911 immediately. Record the time symptoms started. Note what you were doing before the episode, e.g. waking up, bending, eating. Doctors can perform scans to find blockages or clots, and medications like blood thinners or cholesterol drugs may prevent the next attack. Preventive checkups. If you've experienced headaches, brief numbness, or speech difficulties, ask your doctor about a carotid artery ultrasound. This test looks for narrowing in the neck arteries, which is a common stroke cause in seniors. Key takeaway. Your body rarely stays silent before a major stroke. TIAs and other subtle symptoms are your early warning system. By listening, acting quickly, and seeking medical help, you can avoid a devastating event. One of the simplest, most effective ways to catch a stroke early or even prevent serious complications is by starting your morning with a self-check routine. Just like you brush your teeth or drink coffee every morning, adding a 30-second health check can give you peace of mind and potentially save your life. Why morning checks are crucial. Most strokes that occur during the night go unnoticed until morning. When you first wake up, your body is transitioning from a state of rest to activity. This is when any neurological issues, like numbness or weakness, will be most noticeable. By making a habit of checking your face, arms, speech, and overall balance, you can detect problems before they escalate. The 3-step morning check. Smile in the mirror. Look closely. Does one side of your face droop or feel different? This is a quick way to spot facial weakness, one of the earliest signs of a stroke. Raise both arms. Stretch out your arms in front of you. Does one arm drift down or feel heavier? This test only takes seconds but could reveal subtle weakness you might otherwise miss. Say a simple sentence. Try saying something like, "Good morning. I feel great today." Listen to your voice. Is it clear? Or does it sound slurred or thick? Difficulty speaking or pronouncing words can signal a problem. Add these quick habits too. Check your vision. Blink and look around the room. Do you see clearly? Any blurry or double vision needs immediate attention. Assess your balance. Stand up slowly. Do you feel dizzy or off balance? This can be another sign of neurological trouble. Hydrate first thing. Drink a small glass of water to rehydrate your system and help your blood flow properly. Real-life story. Evelyn's routine saved her. Evelyn, a 72-year-old grandmother from Michigan, started doing a daily fast check after watching a health seminar at her local senior center. One morning, while smiling in the mirror, she noticed her left cheek felt heavy and wouldn't move properly. Instead of ignoring it, she called 911. Paramedics confirmed she was having a minor stroke. And thanks to her quick action, Evelyn recovered fully within weeks. She often tells friends, "It's the best 30 seconds I spend every day." How to make it a habit. Pair it with an existing routine. Do it right after brushing your teeth or washing your face. Set a reminder. Use a sticky note on your bathroom mirror that says, "Smile." Arms. Speak. Involve family. If you live with someone, practice the routine together each morning. The power of awareness. Morning checks aren't just for detecting strokes. They can also help you notice early signs of other conditions like dehydration, low blood sugar, or heart irregularities. By taking a few moments to really observe your body, you're giving yourself a chance to address small problems before they become major crises. Key takeaway. Your morning routine is your first line of defense. A 10 to 30 second check can alert you to issues that could save your brain, your independence, and your life. Make it as automatic as pouring your morning coffee. Stories of real people often teach us more than medical facts ever could. One such story is about Mary, a 72-year-old retired schoolteacher from Ohio, who proved that preparation, awareness, and quick thinking can save lives. A regular morning turned emergency. Mary lived alone in a quiet suburban neighborhood. She was healthy, independent, and active in her garden every day. One early morning, around 5:45 a.m., Mary woke up feeling something strange. Her left arm felt heavy, almost numb, and when she looked in the mirror, she noticed the corner of her mouth drooping. At first, she thought she had just slept on her arm the wrong way. But then she remembered a health video her daughter had sent her about the FAST test: face, arms, speech, time. Mary stood there, trying to lift both arms, and one arm wouldn't stay up. She attempted to speak a simple sentence, but her words sounded slurred. It hit her, "I'm having a stroke." How Mary's preparation saved her. Mary didn't panic. Weeks earlier, after her daughter's urging, she had prepared for emergencies. Her phone was always on the nightstand. She had practiced voice commands like, "Hey Siri, call 911," and she had a plan to unlock her front door quickly in case paramedics needed to enter. Within 30 seconds, Mary called 911 and told the dispatcher, "Stroke. Left arm numb." She stayed on the line while lying on her side with her head slightly elevated, just as her doctor once instructed during a senior health seminar. By the time paramedics arrived, less than 10 minutes had passed. They could enter her home easily because she had left a spare key with a neighbor and a note on her front door with emergency instructions. Treatment and recovery. Mary was rushed to a stroke center where doctors immediately confirmed an ischemic stroke, a clot blocking blood flow to part of her brain. Because she had acted quickly and documented the time of symptom onset, she was within the treatment window for TPA, a clot-busting medication. The medication worked, restoring blood flow and limiting brain damage. Mary spent 2 weeks in rehabilitation, focusing on speech and strength exercises. Today, she's back to tending her rose garden, volunteering at the local library, and enjoying her grandchildren, all because she didn't waste time. Lessons from Mary's story. Mary's experience highlights 3 critical lessons for every senior. Know the signs. The FAST test saved her life because she recognized symptoms early. Have an emergency plan. Mary's phone, unlocked door, and medical information were all ready. Act immediately. She didn't wait. hoping the symptoms would pass. Every second mattered. Why stories like Mary's matter? It's easy to think, this won't happen to me. But strokes don't discriminate. Mary was healthy, active, and careful with her diet. Yet, a combination of high blood pressure and mild dehydration led to her stroke. Her story is now part of local senior health workshops, inspiring hundreds of others to take proactive steps, keeping water by their bed, practicing the FAST test, and setting up voice commands for emergencies. Your own action plan. Ask yourself, do I have my phone close to my bed? Could I call 911 even if I couldn't use my hands? Do my neighbors or family know to check in if I don't respond? If the answer is no, start today. Mary's preparation wasn't complicated, but it saved her life. Key takeaway. Mary's story proves that readiness and quick thinking are as important as medical treatment. The difference between a full recovery and lifelong disability often comes down to how fast you act. Preventing a stroke isn't just about reacting quickly, it's about building daily habits that strengthen your heart, improve blood flow, and protect your brain. The good news is that small, consistent routines can lower your stroke risk dramatically. You don't need complicated regimens or expensive programs, just simple actions that you can weave into your everyday life. 1. Start the day with hydration. As we discussed earlier, dehydration thickens the blood and makes clots more likely. Drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning rehydrates your body and improves circulation after hours of sleep. Morning tip. Keep a full glass of water on your nightstand. Make it the first thing you drink before coffee or tea. 2. Perform a fast self-check. Spend 30 seconds every morning testing your face, arms, and speech. This quick test can help you spot early warning signs of stroke. Smile in the mirror. Lift both arms. Speak a simple phrase. This habit helps you build awareness and recognize problems before they worsen. 3. Move every day. Regular physical activity strengthens your heart, lowers blood pressure, and improves blood vessel flexibility. Even if you can't do intense workouts, simple movement counts. Suggestions. Take a 15 to 20-minute walk. Do light stretching, or try gentle chair exercises. Goal. Aim for at least 30 minutes of moderate activity most days of the week. 4. Eat brain-friendly foods. What you eat has a direct impact on your blood vessels. Focus on a diet rich in fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats like omega-3s. Add salmon, walnuts, berries, spinach, and avocados. Avoid processed meats, excessive salt, sugary drinks, and heavy fried foods. 5. Maintain healthy blood pressure. High blood pressure is the leading cause of stroke. Check your blood pressure at least once a week or daily if recommended by your doctor. Take medications as prescribed, especially evening doses. Reduce salt and processed foods to keep blood pressure steady. 6. Get quality sleep. Sleep is not just for rest, it's when your body repairs itself. Poor sleep, especially due to sleep apnea, increases stroke risk. Aim for 7 to 8 hours of restful sleep. Avoid heavy meals or caffeine close to bedtime. If you snore or feel exhausted during the day, get checked for sleep apnea. 7. Stress less. Chronic stress raises blood pressure and damages blood vessels over time. Incorporating relaxation techniques can protect both your heart and brain. Try deep breathing, meditation, or light stretching before bed. Tip: a few minutes of gratitude journaling or listening to calming music can lower stress hormones. 8. Stay connected. Loneliness and isolation can indirectly increase stroke risk due to stress and lack of monitoring. Stay in touch with family or friends daily. Join a local senior center, walking club, or online community. 9. Limit alcohol and quit smoking. Smoking damages blood vessels, while excessive alcohol raises blood pressure and disrupts sleep. If you smoke, talk to your doctor about a quitting plan. Limit alcohol to 1 drink per day or less. 10. Plan your evenings wisely. Your nighttime routine is just as important as your day. Avoid heavy, salty dinners that can spike blood pressure overnight. Drink a few sips of water before bed to stay hydrated. Keep emergency devices, like a phone or medical alert pendant, within reach. Real-life story, Tom's transformation. Tom, a 70-year-old retired firefighter from Texas, lived on fast food and rarely drank water. After a minor TIA scare, he committed to a new routine. A glass of water every morning. A 20-minute walk around his block. Swapping fried foods for grilled salmon and vegetables. Within 3 months, his blood pressure dropped, he lost weight, and his energy levels soared. "I didn't think small changes would matter," Tom said. "But now I feel like I'm 10 years younger." Key takeaway: daily routines shape your health more than any single medical appointment. By focusing on hydration, movement, nutrition, and stress reduction, you're not just lowering your stroke risk, you're building a healthier, more independent future. Nighttime is when most of us feel safe and relaxed. But for seniors at risk of stroke, those hours can be a vulnerable time. Having a clear nighttime safety plan ensures that if something happens while you sleep, or the moment you wake up, you're prepared to act quickly and effectively. Why a nighttime plan matters. A stroke during sleep is often silent. By the time symptoms show up in the morning, critical treatment windows might already be closing. A well-prepared environment and routine can buy you precious minutes and even save your life. Step 1. Prepare your bedroom. Keep your phone close. Place it on your nightstand, within arm's reach. Use voice commands. Set up, "Hey Siri," or "OK Google," to call 911 with a single phrase. Have emergency numbers ready. Save contacts on speed dial and keep a large print list near your bed. Step 2. Medical alert devices. Invest in a wearable medical alert device, like a wristband or pendant. Many modern devices can automatically detect abnormal movements or heart rhythms and alert emergency services. Some even track sleep patterns to detect potential health issues overnight. Step 3. Hydration check. Place a bottle or glass of water beside your bed. Sip a small amount before sleeping and again when you wake up. This simple step helps prevent overnight dehydration, which can increase the risk of blood clots. Step 4. Night lighting for safety. Install motion-activated nightlights to avoid falls if you need to get up. Keep a flashlight nearby in case of power outages. Turn on porch lights at night to make your home visible to emergency crews. Step 5. Unlock access points. If you live alone, consider a smart lock or keypad entry for paramedics. Alternatively, keep a spare key with a trusted neighbor or place a lockbox near the door with the code shared only with emergency responders. Step 6. Know your recovery position. If you feel symptoms, numbness, dizziness, or slurred speech, don't attempt to walk. Lie on your side with your head slightly elevated on a thin pillow or folded blanket. This position helps keep your airway open and reduces choking risk if you vomit. Step 7. Keep critical info visible. Create a medical information card that includes your medications and dosages, any allergies, health conditions like high blood pressure or diabetes, emergency contacts. Place this card in a visible spot, such as taped to the fridge or kept in your wallet or next to your bed. Step 8. Daily evening routine. Light dinner. Avoid heavy, salty, or fatty meals late at night, as they can spike blood pressure. Relax, stretch or do light breathing exercises to reduce stress before bed. Set alarms. Some seniors use smartwatches to remind them to do a quick check before sleeping. Real-life story. Patricia's preparedness. Patricia, a 74-year-old widow from Oregon, had a scare one night when she woke up unable to lift her right arm. Luckily, she had a medical alert pendant on her nightstand and a smart lock on her front door. She pressed the button, and within 12 minutes, paramedics were by her side. Patricia's foresight, keeping her home and tools ready, helped save her brain and her independence. Step 9. Create a morning check-in plan. Arrange for a simple "good morning" text or call with a family member or friend by 8 a.m. each day. If they don't hear from you, they know to check in immediately. Key takeaway: your nighttime safety plan doesn't have to be complicated. A few thoughtful steps, like keeping your phone close, staying hydrated, and ensuring emergency access, can make all the difference when seconds count. Think of it as arming yourself with peace of mind every night. A stroke is one of the most life-threatening medical emergencies. But as we've learned throughout this video, knowledge and preparation can save lives. We explored why strokes often strike during sleep, the subtle morning signs you must never ignore, and how the fast test, face, arms, speech, time, can quickly determine if you need urgent medical attention. We uncovered hidden triggers like dehydration, high blood pressure, sleep apnea, and poor nighttime habits, which silently increase your risk. We also discussed the importance of daily routines, hydration, balanced meals, regular movement, and morning self-checks that help you detect early warning signs before they become life-changing emergencies. Real stories like Mary's and Patricia's remind us that preparedness is not just about avoiding fear, it's about living smarter, longer, and healthier. Whether it's keeping your phone by your bedside, wearing a medical alert device, or staying connected with loved ones, these simple steps make a powerful difference when seconds count. Most importantly, every minute matters. From knowing how to react in the first 5 minutes to having a nighttime safety plan, each habit we discussed is like adding another layer of protection for your brain and your independence. Don't wait for a warning. Start today. Check your blood pressure. Drink that glass of water. Rehearse the fast test. And make sure your emergency plan is ready. Share this knowledge with your friends, neighbors, and family, because the information you pass on might one day save a life. Remember, your future health starts with the decisions you make right now. Take action today. Stay prepared. And give yourself the gift of waking up tomorrow safe, strong, and smiling.